Hey, what's up, y'all? This is KLA Cloud the Wanderer. And, I have a guest. Her name is Jill Humphrey. She's a pro bikini, IFBB pro bikini. And she's here to tell a story. How you been?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on today.
Nah, it's no problem. Thank you for accepting my offer.
You bet.
Yeah. How's it been going for you recently?
Well, it's going good. My season is underway. I'm about 6 weeks out from my first show of the season. My coaching duties are in full swing right now. I have three athletes competing this weekend at the Oregon Open, a men's physique competitor, a women's wellness competitor, and a first-time bikini athlete. And then my other business, a CBD company, we're in transition right now, opening a new location. So what do they say? Make hay while the sun is shining. That's that phase of
Yeah,
life right now.
yeah. So, maybe I should go from the beginning. Like, how you got started into bodybuilding or bikini?
Yeah. So to start that story, I got to take it way back to 2005. And I
Okay.
was doing some modeling at the time, doing some runway work. I was in the middle of Seattle International Fashion Week, and my chiropractor had asked me for an autographed picture for his wall. He was a promoter and worked with multiple bodybuilders, getting them ready for the stage. And he wanted a picture to hang on the wall with his other athletes. So I brought him a picture, and he goes, "Oh, you have some muscle." And I said, "Yes, some of the designers like it and some don't. Some of them won't book me because they think I'm too muscular." And he goes, "Well, you want to do a figure competition?" I said, "What's
Yeah.
that?" He says, "You want to go through hell for 4 weeks and find out?" I said, "All right." So without knowing the first thing about the sport, I dieted for 4 weeks and then stepped on stage at one of the largest regional shows in the state of Washington, which was the Emerald Cup. And my only goal was to not come in last. And I came in 16th place. And I was so excited because I didn't come in last. Well, then I found out what 16th place meant. Everyone placed 16th if you didn't place 15 or higher. But it really lit this fire in me. It gave purpose to me working out. It gave a reason to eat healthy in an era where women were being told to downsize and get as skinny and small as possible. This was promoting a different lifestyle and healthy aesthetic and teaching me to eat and help mend my relationship with food. And it really scratched that competitive itch. So after that first show, I was just hooked. I was determined to come back better. So from 2005 to 2009, I competed in the figure division, and that's about the time that they started the bikini division. So 2010, I tried the bikini division, did very well, made it as far as nationals, placed top five at nationals at the USA's that year, and then hung up my heels. I thought I was done. I had some life stuff I was going through I needed to focus on. I was opening a new business. It was just a different era for me. So I took a full decade off and then came back in 2020 to see how I stacked up in the sport and if it was something that I might want to do, more just like a bucket list thing, but really exceeded the goals that I'd set out for myself. And you know how it is with us goal setters. Once you meet a goal, you just kind of have it in you to want to set a new goal, something bigger, something better that keeps you pushing and striving for more. So that's 2010 up until the present. I'm on my third pro season now.
What made you want to stick with bikini? Like, out of curiosity.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love the aesthetic of the division. I think it's just a beautiful feminine shape. It promotes that level of muscularity that's athletic, but still a feminine look. It's achievable for me. It allows me to live the life I want to live and still work out and maintain that balance. You know, in the first year of bikini, it was kind of a joke. It was for the girls that didn't have enough muscle, for those that weren't stacked enough to hang with the figure competitors. But honestly, where bikini is now is even light years ahead of where the figure competitors were back when I was competing. I have more muscle. I come in more conditioned for shows now than I ever did in figure, but it's just a different shape. So I like it. I think it's pretty. It's like a female superhero. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because not too many, like, especially bodybuilder fans. They're not really they don't really care about bikini too much.
Yeah.
And I went to a bodybuilding show recently. I went to the New York Pro, and I came late. I came late to see the men and the women's the bikini finals and stuff. And like, so, like, after the men, everybody was cheering for the men, going crazy and stuff like that. I seen it was the women's turn, and like majority of people, they left, but there was people that just stuck around and and was watching it and cheering the ladies on and
Yeah.
stuff. So
It's a difficult division. I think it's one of the hardest divisions because it leaves the most open for artistic interpretation, I'll call it, because we don't have weight classes. We don't have height classes. I mean, I'm a tall competitor at 5'8". I'll be stacked up to another pro competitor that's 5'2". So we will have a totally different look, but our goal is to bring what looks best on our physique. But at the end of the day, you're not comparing apples to apples. So it's always this game of trying to hit that. I say we try to toe the line without going over. So we get as lean as we possibly can without getting too conditioned and too shredded or striated. We want to get as muscular as we can, just pushing the boundaries of the division, but not getting too muscular or too grainy or too striated. So it's almost like a moving target. There's different trends every year. You need to stay current on posing styles, on hair and makeup styles, so that you stay current and kind of keep that competitive edge. But I like it. It's not just the biggest, most shredded person that shows up like a lot of the other divisions. You have to have that eye for it and the ability to execute and kind of carry out your prep in a way that brings your physique in the best that you should look.
do you pay attention to the other divisions? Like, do you have like are there bodybuilders that you like, or like from other divisions?
Not much. I mean, I pay attention to some of the wellness girls. I
Yeah,
know a few bodybuilders' names just by default, but I really don't pay attention to much outside the bikini division.
yeah. It seems like it's normal because I mean, so because other people, like in other different divisions, they focus in on their division, or maybe some look at a universal spectrum and stuff. So
Yeah.
but
I've
we can look at some thing. Not, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh,
mean
I've
to cut
I've been
you off.
able to do some of the women's workshops and meet some women from other divisions, and I'm truly just inspired by some of them. So it's just been a cool year to get to interact with a few more of them, do some different posing seminars and workshops with them. So I do like the camaraderie that we have in the women's divisions.
Yeah, we can look at some pictures. Now you said you was a model,
Yeah,
and
that was
you was
actually, yeah.
yeah, you have to look. You kind of remind me of I don't like this comic book character what's her name, Black Canary
All
from
right.
DC Comics. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on.
You might want to Google it. You don't seem like you're
Yeah.
not familiar with it, but you kind of you have like that with the fishnet type of thing. It kind of reminds me of. But yeah. So what was this picture?
Oh, I love that one. So that was me winning the Sasquatch Pros. So the Sasquatch Pro is the first and only pro show that we have in Washington State. So this is my home
Okay.
state show. I was coming off a great winning streak on the road and coming back to this show. So the prior year, shoot, I'm like drawing a blank on my placing. I want to say I placed third at this show. But I had come from a win at Chicago on the road, World Clash, South Carolina, first place, then to Pittsburgh Masters Worlds, first place. So I'm coming to my home stage in front of the home panel of judges. I have friends there, I have family members, I've got amateur athletes that are competing in the amateur portion of the show. And I think it was the first show where I actually felt pressure of where I should place. I've always gone in with no expectations because you can't control who shows up on show day. You can just bring your best, you can do your best, and just kind of let the chips fall where they're going to fall. So I went in without those expectations, but feeling that, man, I really wanted to win this one. So it was down to me and one other competitor, and I really feel like it could have gone either way. They did a top two callback. I mean, they worked us, they walked us. I didn't know who they were going to choose. And as the two of us were leaving the stage, I see the head judge, Sandy, lean over to the other judge next to her and mouth the words, "Who you got?" And the one next to her mouthed the name of the other girl. And I just kind of had one of those moments. And then I checked myself. I was like, what? Whatever. Like, second place is really good. Like, that's nothing to
Yeah.
be disappointed about. Like, get over yourself. So I actually was kind of surprised when they called the second place name and it wasn't my name. So just that
Oh,
feeling of like the biggest crowd cheer that's ever happened when my name was announced was like when I was on that stage. So there was this energy and this excitement and, kind of that feeling of I carried on the street. Plus the trophy with the Sasquatch on it is just really cool.
was this recently or
That was last September.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So that was my second
So
to the last show, or sorry, third to the last show of the season.
okay. So like in your career, like how many shows you have attended so far?
Oh, shoot. Attended or competed in?
Competed. I'm sorry, competed. That's the word.
Probably coming up on 18, 20 for how many shows I've competed in. Kind of lose count.
Uh, how did you do like in figure?
So in figure, it by my second season, I was placing. Um, I that season, I think I got up into the top three. I remember when I had my first class win. Two shows I took second in the overall, but could never beat those shorter girls in the overall. So I would win my class, but then not the overall. That was just kind of par for the course for me. I three times in a row, first in my class, second overall. So it was just kind of discouraging because I was told, well, tall girls are just never going to place well. So when they came out with the bikini division, I had a couple judges tell me that that division was really created for girls that were built like me. Maybe we had a little bit harder time putting on muscle. We were a little bit longer and lankier. It was started as more of like a fitness beauty pageant thing, similar to the Hawaiian Tropic contests that were going on at the time, which I did those on the side just to stay in shape and improvement season. I did some ring girl work too with a model and talent agency. So it just kind of fit all the other things that I was doing, and I decided to give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah, you said you was also a model, like and they thought that you were muscular.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like how muscular we talking about? Was
Oh,
it like this picture like this, or
no, I was so tiny compared to that. Like we're gonna have to scroll back a little ways to find one of those, but I'll so let's see. At my first show, I competed at 121 pounds, which is really tiny for someone that's as tall as I am.
yeah,
Um, my stage weight is between 131 and 134 now, so I've clearly put on a lot of muscle. Um, yeah, if you look at these stage photos of when I was modeling, you'd say, how could anyone think this was too much muscle? But again, it was just a different era back then. So let's see.
yeah. See, okay, all right. All the way, George Page. Good evening, Clouds of Wandering Samurai. Hey, what's up, George? How you been? George does content on women's bodybuilding also. I saw some
So
pictures
yeah.
while you did
All right,
your
there we go. So check your
Oh,
inbox. I gotta.
I'm on my phone. Hold on. When if it start kind of like blurry, I'm gonna see if I could
Okay. And then I'll send you little stage photo too of what the physique looked like back then when I started competing.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna get the yeah, okay. Now I got him. Yeah. Let me take this out for his picture. That's yeah, I see it. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean that's what they.
So if
That's
you
crazy.
slide, you'll see a couple where it shows my back, and it was specifically the ones that showed my back. So this designer liked my look and would book me. She didn't think it was too muscular, but there were a couple others. Like, I modeled wedding dresses, and I know one of the wedding gown designers said that there was just too much muscle for that.
Mm.
That was the photo. Yeah, too much muscle. I'm like, I don't know. I think those were like 12-inch biceps at
Nah,
that
I
time.
mean,
11
you know
inches.
what? I mean, you know, this is my perspective. Like, you could, like, um, could have been. You ever thought about being an actress at one point? Because where I'm going with it, because it's like the some of the actresses, like they're not that muscular. They're like about this
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say like if you wanted to be Xena the warrior princess, I bet you they would have picked you besides
Right.
somebody that's more muscular. That's
Totally.
where I was
Yeah.
going with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't look bad though. Like I mean, for them to kind of say that I don't know.
Yeah. But that was just the
They
world of modeling back then. I mean, it's changed a little bit now, but I showed up to a photo shoot about 3 weeks after this runway event, and the first thing the photographer said to me was, "Oh, you've gained weight." And I don't even think I owned a scale at that time. I wasn't really tracking my weight. I just know that before runway shows, I would eat nothing but protein for a couple of weeks leading up to it, just cut my carbs so I'd be as skinny as possible, and then go back to eating kind of whatever I wanted after the show. So, you put on 3 to 5 pounds and suddenly you don't have that sucked in look that the designers wanted. And I think that was one of the first times where I started like criticizing my own body and like really hyper fixating on little fluctuations like that.
yeah, that's when you did do the like the bench eating, like be picky.
No, not so much that, but yeah, I can't say I've ever really had much of an issue with binging. I can usually shut it off, but I don't know. I would just go through more periods of like restriction and extreme
Yeah,
restriction
right.
to eating normal. So I wouldn't really like swing too far on the opposite, but I would like really rein things back. And it was in the height of the keto and the Atkins era. I was pre-keto, but Atkins diet was really big at the time. Carbs were evil. Like I didn't even incorporate carbs for the most part in my early days of competing. So no wonder my muscles were so small.
Yeah. But what was it like when like trying to like understand like counting macros and just being cautious of your diet and all that stuff?
It was pretty fun. It was a great learning process for me. It gave me a different target to hit. It gave me a new way to look at food and actually really created a lot of freedom around it too. And I'll say that with the caveat of I really didn't get into macros too much until after going through an autoimmune flare and having to get serious about my health and figuring out what foods I digested well. I worked with a naturopath to figure out my food sensitivities, worked with a functional nutritional therapist who I still have a great relationship with to help me figure out my own body and how it was working and really heal myself through my food choices. That really changed my relationship with food, how I looked at it. And, I count and I track most of the time. You weigh your food long enough that you kind of know how portions look. But, I've gotten to the point where I can really do an intuitive style improvement season, and for the most part, an intuitive style prep. I mean, my body doesn't fight me for the most part when it's time to lose weight. I know what foods to cut out and the right balance of things to have in my diet, and my body responds. Yeah, I'm blessed for that.
Okay. Yeah. Like you're like a fitness coach for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
What's that
So
like?
So back in 2021, not long after getting my pro card, my coach Keith and I formed Team Special Forces. Both of us have primary gigs. We weren't looking to do something huge, but we really wanted to provide a service that helps athletes compete at the highest level, but takes a different approach to it that gives them skills and tools that'll serve them well beyond their time with competing. So I love it. I'm able to work with females and a couple men on the team too, and help them navigate. Usually, digestive issues is the main thing. It's one of the niches that draws people to us. We take more of a holistic approach to diet and contest prep. We do our food sensitivities testing in the beginning. We practice an elimination diet and a lot of things that just focus on the health of the gut microbiome, trying to work people's calories up during their improvement season. But by having a smaller team like we do, we're really able to give that white glove treatment to our clients, really create this family-like atmosphere. We do a lot of team lifts. We do some group posing events. We're on FaceTime calls frequently. And then show day weekend, we're just right there every step of the way. So I'm the ultimate backstage stage mom. I do hair and makeup, which I picked up from my runway days. So I'm there like putting the finishing touches on the girls, helping with their hair. I'm a stickler for making sure their makeup's just so, helping them with their tans. So I love the process because I do get to be so hands-on. And just like for myself, when I take the stage, this is my showcase, my masterpiece, my art exhibit to the judges and to the spectators and the fans of the sport. When I'm putting an athlete on stage, it's similar. Like, this is a collaboration. It's their physique, it's their work, but as the coach, I play a big role in that. So there's this great sense of satisfaction and pride I get. I get emotional sometimes when I see my athletes on stage because we see that show day, that finished product, but I see a lot of the behind the scenes. I see the emotional struggle, the relationship turmoil, the jobs that have been lost, all the changes that happen during prep and all the reasons that someone would have had to have given up on that prep, but they didn't. They stuck with it. So I'm just so intensely proud of these athletes on show day. I'm screaming for them. If I'm not backstage, I'm out taking videos of them. But it's truly one of the most rewarding experiences. It doesn't feel good. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like a real coach, like a coach of like a football team or basketball team and stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
real
yeah.
supportive. Yeah. Um, are most of your clients lifestyle changes?
No, I have a couple lifestyle clients. We'll get a few each year that stick with us for 6 months to a year, and then usually graduate on to just kind of doing their own thing after that once they've got the tools that they need. But I would say the bulk of the people that we work with are athletes. We have a couple pro athletes on the team. We have a few nationally qualified athletes that are preparing for their first time on the national stage next year, and then a handful of amateur athletes as well.
Okay. Yeah. We could look at some more pictures.
Oh,
Now this is these your clients?
that's one of my
Or
clients. Yeah, she won her class at the amateur portion of the show, and then I won my class at the pro show. And our competitor numbers were the same, just she had a 1 in front of hers versus mine. So it just happens that we're both tall blondes.
hmm.
I've got this knack for helping taller girls fill out a lanky frame, figuring out how to eat right, dial in their nutrition, get their training right.
Do you get like anxious, like Like what was your last show again? I'm sorry.
So my
2020.
final show of the season was last
Oh,
October, and it was
last October. I'm
Legions.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Legions in Reno.
What was that feeling like? Was you anxious, or it was just a competition that you're ready? It's a competition that you're just ready for.
So I had done better than I could have anticipated last season. I mean, my goal was to win one pro show last year, and I would have been happy because prior to that, my top placing as a pro had been third place. So, I like to set realistic goals that they still push and challenge me, but they're not so far out there that I'm not going to have that satisfaction of meeting a goal. So, the fact that I won four pro shows, I had already exceeded every goal that I had set out for myself last season and then some. So for my final show of the season, and it was the day before my 44th birthday, I brought my grandmother along with me on that trip. So she's
Okay.
82 years old. She got to come with me and for the first time experience the bodybuilding world and see the behind the scenes. We just had such a fun time together. I was competing with other athletes that I've done multiple shows with. So the energy backstage was just good. Like I just wanted to have fun with it. It was my last show of the season and I knew it. I tried a totally different suit color. I allowed myself to get a little leaner than I had for previous shows because at that point I just wanted to see what I would look like, peeled about as lean as I could get. So yeah, it was just fun. And I ended up placing third at that show. And I don't even think I really cared about the placing. It was fun.
Yeah, of course. Your grandmother was there.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. How about your husband and your kids? Like how like how do they feel about you doing what you're doing?
They're very proud of me. So my husband was a professional athlete and he jokes that this is his karma for what
Oh,
he put his girlfriends through back in the day as a pro athlete.
yeah.
So he understands the demands. Yeah, he was a pitcher. He started pitching as a little kid.
Oh,
Came up through sports, played college ball, and was picked up by Tampa Bay. So he understands
okay.
the demands of a professional athlete and has a lot of good wisdom and insight to give me. Like one of our rituals is that I call him when I'm on the road the night before the show, and he just kind of gives me this pep talk. And it's never the same thing, but he just has this interesting insight and this ability to calm me and help me find that right mindset and headspace that I need to be in for the show. Um, my kids are proud of me. They're both college age, so it makes it kind of hard to come see the shows. So, my husband travels with me when he can, but he has a very demanding career too. So mainly he just goes to my local show, and so he says that he stresses more than I do on show days. So he's probably not the best one to have around. Like he'll send one of my girlfriends who can help me with the
Yeah.
lashes or the hair. My coach travels with me to most of my shows, which is helpful too. We jokingly refer to him as my handler. So,
Okay. Is he still playing baseball?
oh no, no, he
Oh,
was
okay.
at about age 28. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. This
but you
was
know how it
before
is.
you guys met.
Yeah, before we met.
Oh, okay. Okay. What was you gonna say? Actually,
I was gonna say,
or tell
once an
me?
athlete, always an athlete. Though it's like a mindset,
Yeah.
right?
Was you like into sports or anything like that?
I played sports coming up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, anything and everything. My favorite sport was basketball, though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
You
I ran cross country just to get in shape for basketball season. I lived it, I breathed it. It's what I wanted to do.
you play college ball
Oh no.
or you just love playing
No.
basketball?
Yeah, I just like playing basketball. I have only grown a quarter of an inch since the summer before the sixth grade. So you imagine this sixth grade girl who's almost 5'8" with a size 8.5 shoe. Like my dad had stars in his eyes. He's like, she's going to be 6 foot. She's going to play college ball. Well, no, I just had all these arms and legs that I didn't know what to do with. So I was clumsy and awkward until I got used to my size. And I, I did okay at basketball, but I was mediocre at best. I was the star of the JV team, but devastated that I didn't make varsity my freshman year. I was just I trained hard. I wanted to do it so bad, and it just didn't go that way. So
Um, what position you played? Like point guard?
no, you would think. I had a very short team, and I played post. So
Oh,
as the tallest girl on my team, yeah,
oh, you was
I'm
the
in
forward, the power
there.
forward.
Yeah, I'm playing
Oh,
forward.
okay.
So I had to learn to play big because I got
Mm,
dwarfed by almost every team there. I was outweighed by almost every team there. So I had these bony hip bones, and I learned how to like get the rebounds by shooting the hip out and sending these girls, Dad taught me to play big, and yeah, I had perfected this shot where I would go a few feet out on the baseline there and swish it in, no backboard, because I couldn't get close enough to hit the board. So I had to perfect that outside shot because I was just too short for my
yeah,
position to get them right
yeah,
under the basket
you,
there.
yeah. You always got to work on your shot and stuff. I mean, because some people don't have that. For me, I wasn't like a shooter like that, but I always just worked on it, like try to constantly work on it and stuff.
And I could
So,
draw the fouls, so hey, just get me to the free throw line, and I'll pick up a couple points there.
did you watch like the WNBA or the recent NBA finals?
No, can't say that I did.
No, no, okay. Don't worry about it. Um, who you follow in the sport that inspires you as a competitor in bikini or other sports I mean, on other divisions.
Yeah, honestly, just watching the other Masters pro athletes that are out there. There's Janet Lynn West and Janine Priest. I mean, these are women that are in their 50s and their 60s, and they're still going, and they look incredible, and
Yeah,
they truly inspire me. So there's there's also some top competitors that are, if they're not 40, they're almost 40. So just seeing the longevity that you can have in the sport, that's super impressive to me.
how far do you see yourself competing? Like or you just gonna try to just focus more on the coaching?
I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. I mean, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep competing. I have a goal of setting the record for the most Masters pro wins
Yeah.
by the time I retire. And I also have a goal of the winning the Masters Bikini Olympia. So now that the Masters Olympia is back, it really gives this target to shoot for as a Masters athlete, where we didn't necessarily have that before. Because it's a lot harder to get the invite to the Open Olympia.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me, you said that the next or couple days you're going to another competition to
Yeah.
for your clients.
Yep, I leave tomorrow morning to drive down to Salem, and I've got 3 athletes competing in the show: a men's physique athlete, a women's wellness competitor, and a first-time bikini competitor who's still a college student, so she's a true novice. It's going to be really fun to see them take the stage.
Okay. What's it like training with the guys?
My business partner and coach Keith does most of the training with the guys. We'll split off when we do our group training days, and I'll lead the women's session and he'll lead the men's session. But I do all of the nutrition for the team. So I still work with them a lot on their food. And it's good. There's little things. One of the guys on the team is a chef. So his understanding of
Okay.
food and macros is just so easy. I just set his macros. He knows the right things to choose and makes it happen. And then I have others that really aren't used to tracking in any way. And it's little things like, they ask me, is it okay to have canned yams? And I say, well, what are the ingredients? Because they had yams on their peak week protocol around show day. And I said, if the only ingredient is yams, then we can work with it. But I need to know sodium content. It's different than when I say steamed yams. Canned yams might be candied canned yams. What are we working with? So I feel like oftentimes there's a little more nutritional coaching that is required with the male competitors than the female competitors. The female competitors will oftentimes want more complex recipes to satisfy cravings, and they don't mind spending a little bit more time in the kitchen on the recipes, where a lot of times if I were to give the guys a macro friendly protein brownie recipe, they're like, whoa, there's 8 ingredients and it's going to take me half an hour, I'm out. So, just give me a grilled
Mm.
piece of meat and my potatoes and I'm happy.
What's a complex recipe for you?
um well, I was enrolled at Le Cordon Bleu at one point and really was going to open a restaurant. So complex to
Oh
me is
yeah.
multiple courses, lots of ingredients. We're talking fresh herbs and some complex cooking methods and whatnot. But in prep, I think it's just something that requires more than 3 ingredients, let's say. It's different than just your vegetable, your rice, and your protein. So my macro brownies are my most requested recipe. And, I've got protein powder and almond milk and oat flour and the baking powder and some ground chia seeds. And there, it gets a little more complicated, even though it's pretty quick to make.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you like my highlight film I did put together. So,
Awesome.
um, yeah. What's it like training?
Sorry about that. My dogs are chiming in here.
Okay. Hold on for a second. Um, I know I kind of like showed you the what I did and you know, but we're at your site. I gotta put the angles there. So you got some nice pictures also. The,
Yeah. So my one of my sponsors is a photographer, so it's just a good
yeah.
fit as far as a sponsor for me, since modeling is how I got into the sport. But I was sponsored my first pro season. We kind of took a little bit of a break last year, and then got a sponsorship for this season as well. So that shot's from the most recent photo shoot we did in Vegas just a couple weeks ago.
Okay. You ever worked with Sean Nelson by any chance?
No, I have not.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, he's a photographer. He mostly do photography with women's bodybuilders and physique competitors
Okay,
and
right
stuff.
on.
He seemed like a universal guy because he worked with a lot of competitors and stuff. So this is with your daughters?
So those are my nieces. I went
Oh,
on
okay.
vacation
Yeah, you
last
said
week.
your daughter's in college. Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
little confused. I was like,
yeah.
I was
No,
thinking,
those are
yeah,
those are my nieces.
oh, okay. They seem like they having a good time, like
Oh yeah.
with the opening the jams.
So
What you
we had
guys was making?
those were some pickled beets. We were putting dinner together. So we went on a week-long vacation last week, and it was the family's first vacation we've taken since before COVID. So it was really special for us to get to spend a week away together. We went to this awesome place in Oregon called Sun River. There's hiking, there's biking, there's canoeing. We
Mm.
had a big Airbnb and took turns cooking dinner. Who took the main meal prep for dinner, and I was teaching my nieces the importance of being strong as a woman, so you don't have to
Mm.
ask anyone to open your jars for you in the kitchen.
Yeah, a lot of women are becoming strong. So,
Yeah.
uh, so what's it like hiking and all that stuff?
Oh, I love it. I It's something I don't get to do as often as I would like because of my schedule. So I just make sure I take the opportunities when I can. My son's only home for a short stretch this summer, and with opening the new shop, I
Mm.
don't know if we're going to be able to get the hikes in like we like to. But we did get a few last week while we were in Oregon. So that shot you're seeing right there, we hiked the lava fields, which was just really beautiful, almost like an
I never
alien.
been hiking. Yeah, no, I'm I'm mostly like my outdoor adventure is in New York City. Yeah,
No, that's a great
that's
thing about
it.
Washington State is we kind of have everything. We've got the coastline, we've got the desert, we've got the forests, we've got the mountains, a little bit of everything.
Okay. Right. What's the picture about practice moderation? One
Yeah.
planned meal or treat should not signal the start of a binge. An off-plan or free meal does not mean you have a green light free for all to just keep eating. Okay.
Yeah, so those are
Yeah, you look
just
cute with that.
nutrition advice. So while I was away last week, I did a series of posts that had to do with tips for staying on track when you are traveling.
Okay.
That night, we had gone to a rodeo, and the rodeo dinner, I just planned I was going to find something that I wanted to eat there and I was going to enjoy it. I had a couple meals where I just knew I was going to go somewhere and order from the menu and not really think too much about it. So that's what I did this night. But even though I didn't have my prep food with me, I still made a smarter choice, I will call it. You know, I had a smoked turkey pita. I had a couple of the garlic
Mm,
parmesan fries, and then like one of my son's 36 mini donuts. That kid can put away some food right now. Um,
mm.
but yeah, I know for a lot of people, they can't take that first bite because they're just not going to be able to shut it down or shut it off once they take that first bite. So, just knowing yourself, and then getting to a point where you can practice moderation. Maybe you can try a bite of something and just leave it at that one bite, or you can have that one thing, and it doesn't mean that you're just going to blow it from then on. You get right back on track and stick with your goals.
Did you ever have you ever like coach like an obese person?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And it's just something that I'm mindful of and respectful
Yeah.
of, that I have not experienced life in a larger body. So
Right.
I consume content and study people who have, just so I can understand some of the struggles and challenges and different mindset things that they might be going through. Um, it's not always, you can't always relate to people. So maybe trying to understand them on a different level can bring about a new form of empathy that you didn't have before, and just make you a better coach. It gives me different questions that I can ask them and some different strategies on helping them, honestly.
Yeah. There's people that don't really have too that they're not really co- like sympathize for
Yeah,
obese person and stuff.
right.
And then yeah, and then there's like people sometimes they'll dress a certain way, and you can't you have to be careful like about body shaming people and stuff. It's kind of I don't know. It's a little crazy, but
Yeah.
um, okay, yeah. So how many days you work out? Like you really going at it?
So I have 5 training days, and then, well, I'll say 6 training days, although one of the days is a very light kind of an accessory cardio and core day. But I have 5 primary lift days, that one light day, and then one active rest day right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I hit glutes and lower body 3 times a week. I hit upper body twice a week, and then that cardio core and accessory.
Oh. You think you could do wellness? Out of
No,
curiosity?
I
No.
don't think there's enough PEDs in the world that could make me into the shape of a wellness girl. So
Yeah, yeah. You're very
yeah,
lean. I
I'm
mean,
just
it's not a.
long and lanky. I don't think I could put on that kind of size. I mean, I think I'll forever be trying to grow my glutes into the right bikini size.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you seen this picture. Um, yeah, you have a nice back. Like the
I
definition.
love training back.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how often do you train it?
Just once a week.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually did maintenance for my upper body in this last improvement season because the feedback that I got last year, just grow a little more upper outer glute and don't get any bigger anywhere else. You're already pushing the limits for the amount of muscle we want to see in the bikini division. So I trained my upper body, like maybe I would do a total upper body day every 7 to 10 days. So, like with 3, 4 workouts a month, it felt really weird. And still trying to give enough recovery for the glutes. So training glutes 3 times a week, upper body once a week. I felt kind of lost. Like, what do I do on those extra days? um, Thankfully my business was so busy and the demands were so much on me there that I was kind of able to shift my focus a little more, and reframe it in my mind that because at first it kind of messes with you, like, well, I'm a pro, I need to be working harder, but sometimes it's just about working smarter, and that doesn't always mean working more. So for me, strategically, was stepping back just a little bit on that upper body training. Like if I had gone at my upper body hard this season, I very well could have built an imbalanced physique, which is balance is everything in the bikini division.
How busy do you get, like, with the stuff that you do?
Um, Most people think I'm crazy. How do you do it all? It's all I know, though.
Yeah.
It's interesting because part of my job is just being available at all times for my staff and for my athletes. So there's downtime where I don't have an exact demand at that moment in time, but there's always a to-do list a mile long. So I guess I've just made peace with the never-ending to-do list. I'm always adding items to it and deciding what gets pushed off until tomorrow, what can be delegated. Yeah, most people, and I guess if I wrote it down on paper, people would think I'm very, very busy.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, just don't get to a point where you're in the hospital and stuff.
No,
Because I
yeah,
remember I had a guest. Yeah, she was so caught up with work, and I think she had a heart attack, something like that. This was
man.
a while back. You know,
So,
yeah,
part of me being busy right
not
now,
that.
yeah, I mean, I'm busy, but it's also busy with a life that I created that brings me a lot of joy because I have been in a place where my work demands were so stressful that it was taking a toll on my health, both mental and physical. So that was back in 2018 when I started my company. And that was the main reason that I did it. I wasn't going to continue to work for someone else that said, I want you at your desk 10 hours a day, available from 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. to take a call at any time. I mean, I would wake up and be grinding my teeth, just already stressed about the day. And I mean, that's no way to live. So the stress that I have now is, I'll call it self-inflicted. It's kind of like training. Yeah, you're sore the day after you worked out, but it's that happy sore because you did that to yourself on purpose for a goal. So that's the kind of stress and busyness I have right now is it's like, you know what, this isn't bad stuff. This is all stuff of your own doing. It's nothing you can't handle. And by handling the stress in the way that you have it right now, you actually have the freedom and the flexibility and the healthy space to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're fortunate to work for yourself. It sucks
Yeah,
working for people. You gotta satisfy them, and it's that's a never ending. What's the word? Struggle.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
so yeah. It's a lot for someone who is overweight to make changes to their lifestyle. Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
It is. And I think that one of the biggest reasons that people fail is too many changes too soon.
Right.
Let's just find little things, find a way to make your favorite things in life a little bit healthier. Find a way to move a little bit more, just incorporate some of those little changes. But it's just sad, especially when it's someone who is struggling with obesity and has a significant amount of weight to lose. And they're really good from morning until evening, but they've so drastically cut and restricted their calories up until that point that their hunger signals are going crazy at night and they'll consume an entire day or more's worth of calories in the evening. Whereas if they had some bigger meals throughout the day and were not as restrictive and had a bunch of healthy snacks prepared so that when those hunger signals did hit, that they had something already prepared to grab, I think they'd be a lot more successful.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the stuff that's in the food that can be addictive because they'll put things there and they sell it to the public and you could be stressed out and that comfort food and you know
Yeah. Yeah.
it could be tough for people. Sometimes
100%.
people, yeah, some people. Well, I've gone through that too. I'll eat things where it's just there. Like this
Yeah.
vending machine at my job, and and it's like I'll take like three like junk foods, like a honey bun and chips and what else I would take? Something cookies or something, and then I'll take a ginger ale and stuff. And it'd be like the same time all the time because
Yeah.
I only got like 20 minutes for break. So
Yeah.
and it's like the food don't fill me up neither, and it just takes
Right.
my money and stuff. So
Yep.
I be hating that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's
So
different
so
reasons
what?
we eat. We don't eat just because we're hungry. There's
Right,
sometimes we eat because we're bored. We eat because we're
right,
stressed. We eat
right,
because we're happy and we're celebrating. We eat because it's cultural. There's,
right.
and none of those reasons are wrong. But I think knowing the difference between them and knowing why we're eating and being honest with yourself. And if it is one of those times of like, I'm eating because I'm just flat out stressed. Okay, maybe I need some new stress management tools, something else that I can turn to in moments like this that's not just food to help me better cope with that.
Like with your clients, do you go real deep, like not too deep? I don't know, but do you go psychological to a
Yeah.
point where like when it all started for them?
Yep. Yeah. We even on the intake form, I want to know that competitor's why. Someone who has a strong why is going to go far in this sport, other than someone whose answer might just be a revenge body. It's just not a strong enough why. It might be a good enough starting point, but I think that why needs to evolve as you go. But honestly, Coach Keith does a lot of the psychological end of things. He's been an NPC judge for over 20 years. He's worked with dozens of athletes and helped them turn pro. But bodybuilding is very much a mental sport and it's a sport of dieting. So the two go hand in hand, and having someone that you can turn to that knows how to ask the right questions, kind of asks those thought provoking questions, and it's just been around enough and seen enough competitors go through it that they have a really good insight. So, um, I live in facts and numbers and data and spreadsheets and can get like very laser focused on that portion of it. And sometimes for like I get into robot mode myself. So I can tend to be a little less than compassionate when someone can't just flip that switch and be that way. Whereas
Right.
Keith brings that softness and that understanding and that psychological component. I mean, it's not unusual for him to spend half an hour to an hour on the phone with an athlete and then give me a little debriefing of, well, this is what we found out. They're actually going through XYZ. And now suddenly everything makes sense. But he just has this innate ability to connect with people on an emotional level and through doing that help their mindset as a competitor. So I've experienced it personally with different things that I've struggled with over the years, and I've seen him do it with others. So that skill set's just huge to have on the team.
Mm. God bless Keith. So you do. So you also been in podcasts, the Puck Light podcast. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. What was that like for you?
It was kind of surreal because the both that one and the other one that I did before it were podcasts that I had listened to for a couple of years.
Okay,
And just to go from being a listener to being the one that was being interviewed was sort of surreal.
okay, that's cool. Hope you do other podcasts. You know.
Yeah. I've had people reach out to me after the podcast and just say that something I said really resonated with them. They connected with me. So it's just a cool way to be able to meet new people and connect.
Okay. Yeah. Let me scroll up a little bit. I I know. So this is Solar.
Yeah.
Tell why don't you tell us about Solar?
So SOLA stands for Science of Life Alchemy. I was founded in
I'm sorry. I
2018, and it's
Yeah.
hemp-based CBD products. So everything from tinctures to capsules to gummies.
Okay.
These are our Rainbow
When
Pals, our newest gummies, sleep support
okay.
capsules. We do functional mushroom products as well. So I've got my Mood Magic mushroom supplement on Amazon now, which has just been awesome, increasing our reach. We sell online. I have 3 retail locations. One is in a major mall, and then the one that I've mentioned that's moving is moving into one of the largest outlet malls in our state. So it's been exciting to watch the catalog grow from about 3 products when it initially started to over 75 different SKUs now. We make almost all of our products in-house, so made and manufactured in Washington. We've got dog
What's
tinctures,
this?
tinctures.
What's this product?
So that's my number one
The
bestseller. That's the deep sleep capsule. So it has valerian, melatonin, CBD, CBN, and a
okay.
new product called Xylaria in it, which Xylaria is a member of the fungus family, and it's a fungus found specifically in termites' nests. But it
Mm,
has sedative qualities to it. It helps increase GABA. It just really complements this product. This is has been our best seller for a long time, but this is the recent reformulation of it. So in the past, we had coconut oil in the product. It is now nut free, so allergen friendly for people, and even more potent than it was before. So it's our herbal Ambien.
okay. This is the gummies, the
Yep. So
CBN.
that's
I
our
never. Oh, this is relaxes you.
yeah, yeah. It's great for pain,
Oh,
great for relaxation, awesome for sleep. There's a lot of people that don't want to take melatonin. So
yeah.
this is a great alternative. It can be
Is
layered
this
with
sweet?
other products.
Is this like the gummy bears that you eat, or just
Oh
it's
yeah.
a different
Yep.
type of gum?
Nope. This
Oh
is
yeah.
very that.
Wow.
Yep.
What's it made out of?
So these taste just like orange sour patch kids.
Of what?
Like orange sour patch kids.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. All
There's a
right.
couple different sleep varieties. We've got one that's 12 different flavor gummy bears. We have one that's called Midnight Crawlers, which is a berry flavored gummy worm. And we've got a pineapple, an orange, and a strawberry, like the one you're looking at.
Mm,
One of
yeah.
our best sellers is one that is really just like the Sour Patch Kids, but it's called a Chill Pal. And that one has CBD and
Mm,
CBG. It's really good for daytime. CBG has some muscle relaxant qualities in it and is also the extra strength booster with CBD. So it works great for people with severe symptoms, people that are looking for mood and anxiety support, but still the ability to focus. And that's kind of the beauty of all of these products is there is no psychoactive component to them. They're all THC free, so safe for people to get drug tested at work. They give you all the brain and the body and the mood benefits that you're looking for, but still the ability to function and focus and drive your car and all those things you need to do to be a responsible adult.
all right. Wow. Maybe I'll try to take this. This is what vitamins. Men of
So
this product is struggling.
yeah, those are
Oh,
the mood magic gummies. So microdose mushrooms.
oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you a silly question. Do you try these or?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is oh it's tea. Wow.
I've got tea. Yeah.
I'm gonna check this out. Yeah. Okay. How's the like the sales and all that stuff, like the customers and the clients?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been growing every year. The shop that we're moving has been flatlined for 2 years. So I'm really excited to be moving to a new location and watch that one start to grow. Because our
Right.
other two shops really have been doing better year after year. We were a new company in 2019 as far as opening our first retail location. So to have COVID shutdowns, which were very strict in the state of Washington, close our retail locations. We had two locations shut down for the better part of a year. It all but sunk us as a small company. So it's really been
And when
interesting in
did
a couple years to
and
come
when
out of that.
and when you started this? I'm sorry, I don't
So
I
I
didn't catch that.
started in 2018, and then we opened our
Okay.
first retail location in August of 2019.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so I started just as a
Yeah.
wholesale manufacturing company, white labeling for others, but not really putting much into our own brand. And it quickly became evident that there was a stigma and lack of education around what CBD was, especially in the state of Washington, because a lot of people just lumped it in with cannabis. And because the state had
Mm,
legalized cannabis, they just, oh, well, it's the same thing, where it is very different. The regulations are very different. So getting those retail locations opened really gave us the chance to interact with our customers, to educate, and even develop our catalog based on what products they were asking for the most.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm just now discovering this through the CBN stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, this is nice. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, you want me to look at some? Wanna look at some more pictures or?
Sure, sure. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
business,
this
we
is,
do a lot of off-site events. So I'll set up a vendor booth at different bodybuilding shows. And truly, one of my goals when I started competing again in 2020 was to become the influencer for my brand. I was sitting there with a brand new company and not a lot of people walking through the door and following bodybuilding at the same time, going, yeah, these people promote a protein powder or a supplement and they're sending people to this website to use their discount code. How can I either get them to be representing my company or have enough eyes on me that when I say use my discount code and go to this site that gets the same kind of response? So it's just taken some time. It's obviously been a slow play, but it finally is to that point where I can bring my booth and set it up at a women's workshop. I can be one of the speakers and promote the product and actually have that translate to sales, and not just sales on the day of the event, but lasting customers that come back and rebuy from the website because the products are effective. So my goal was to become the premier CBD company of the bodybuilding industry. And I still hold that goal and I'm still chasing it.
Wow, okay. Wow. I think like the only product I ever did like a bodybuilding product was Joe Rita stuff.
Yeah.
I did like the weight gainers. This was when I
Okay.
was like 16 years old and stuff. You know, I was trying to work out and
Oh,
all that
yeah.
stuff. How do you see the future with this?
So I don't see expanding my footprint more than so we have 3 stores and then a fourth that's under contract for a franchise location. So I see myself continuing to coach, continuing with the CBD company, continuing bodybuilding, and the three just working really well together because at the end of the day, it's core to who I am. It's in line with my values and my belief. It's something that I can ethically promote to people and tell them that it works. It's not a harsh pharmaceutical. It's not going to set them back as far as their health goals. So I see it being somewhere I can thrive for a long time. And as a business matures, you end up with key people in the right positions in the right places that they don't take quite as much hand holding. So
Yeah,
you do have the freedom to do other things and travel and kind of enjoy that flexibility that's usually the reason that most of us become entrepreneurs to begin with.
yeah. I mean, best of luck to you. You know, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you. I've learned a lot from you about your journey, and you know, is there any questions or comments or anything like that?
No, nothing really. I just thanks for the platform and highlighting someone from the bikini industry.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've talked to several bikini competitors and stuff. You know, I talked
Awesome.
to one. She was a firefighter and paramedic, and yeah. Yeah, you guys don't, you know, you guys, I don't know, like you, in my opinion, I mean, in my perspective, you guys kind of, your division is a bit overlooked because you're not the muscular girls like that. So,
Right. Right. But we
yeah,
work just as hard, I promise.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you again. I really appreciate, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
All
All right. Take
right,
care.
folks. All right, thank you.
You bet. Bye.
Bye.